Some people want to save the whales. Some people want to save the earth. Others just want to save Ferris. I want to save the hi-fi shop, but I'm not sure how to do it. With your help, maybe we can get there. Let me lay it out so we can play it out. Hi, I'm Bob, and you, my friends, are back in the United States of Analog. How you doing out there? Oh, geez, thanks for asking. So nice of you to ask. I'm doing great. I'm glad you're here in our community. We're going to do another US of A think piece. Yeah, before you touch that dial, it's not going to go that deep. I'm not a deep thinker, but I think about audio a lot. But I'm just a little bit worried these days that the hi-fi shop, or the, as we used to call them, stereo stores, are, well, going the way of blockbuster video. I'm not sure, and I'm no expert in retail. I'm not a salesman. I didn't go to business school, but I'm concerned. I have so many fond memories of hanging out in my youth at what we called, like I said, back in the day, the stereo store. You know, you would walk in on any given Saturday, and it was like, well, it wasn't exactly like walking into an Apple store, but there would be people in there, and they'd be shopping, and they would be trying on new gear, and turntables, and amplifiers, and speakers. The boxes were stacked to the ceiling, often at discount prices. And you could walk out that day with just about anything that you wanted. And it really tickled that instant gratification thing that a lot of us have. Yeah, the stereo stores, the hi-fi shops were like little communities where we can congregate and talk about music. And, you know, there would be events going on. There was music playing. All the lights were turned on. Everything was just kind of fun. And I have to be realistic because back in those days, I didn't have two nickels to rub together. But it was still fun to go to the hi-fi store and dream. And let me give you a cool example of how a local hi-fi store attracted people on a Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. They would bring in, about once a quarter, an expert from Macintosh, and he would bring in some measuring devices, and everyone was invited to bring their personal amplifiers or receivers, as they were back in the day, to the store to be measured. And it was fun. And I had a little Marantz 2215B, 15 watts per channel. Can you imagine that? 15 watts per channel. And I would drag that down to the store on a Saturday, and he would put it on the bench, and he would give me a little printout with a graph on it. And sure enough, my little Marantz was pumping out 17.5 watts per channel. I was a proud daddy right there. I was proud because back in those days, men and women were judged by the number of watts per channel. That was the thing. We didn't concern ourselves with total harmonic distortion and separation and soundstage and depth. How many watts per channel do you have? 50? Oh man, get out of here. I've got 100 watts per channel. That was something. And that was just some of the fun that we used to have. Now, I think hi-fi stores are a little different. I suspect, and I could be wrong, again, I don't know anything about the retail game. I don't know anything about marketing audio equipment, but I feel like a lot of the hi-fi shops now live and die by the whales. At least that's what they call the high rollers in Vegas. Yeah, the big spenders who are dropping a lot on expensive equipment at high margins, custom installations, home security, home automation, and a lot of things that don't have anything to do with music or hi-fi. And it makes me kind of sad and long for the good old days when you could walk in and just pick up some gear and take it home, plug it in, and have yourself a good time and be ready for that party on Saturday night. Am I just waxing nostalgic? I know there's no chance we're going to go back to those days when there was a hi-fi system in every home. Hell, I've talked about it so much on this channel. I have so many friends that do have two nickels to rub together that have no desire to have anything that has to do with hi-fi, stereo, audio equipment, whatever. It's sad to me, but we can still be friends. But I don't really want to come to your home for a Super Bowl party if you don't even have a sound bar. Just saying. Now, while we can't go back in time to the 60s and 70s, maybe there's something or some things that we can do to save the local hi-fi shop. Let's get into some of the ideas that I've thought about, and let's see as a group if they make any sense at all. And by the way, at any time during this think piece, if you want to put your comments below, your fond memories of stereo stores in the past, or you just want to help a brother out and subscribe, now would be the time, while I pretend I'm not looking at my notes between what seem to be seamless takes. First, I wonder if hi-fi stores could stock more gear. Have more gear at our fingertips that we can not only audition, but that we can kind of buy on the spot. Equipment that may not be super expensive, but something we can go in, pick out, and take home that day. Why aren't there more turntables? Well, probably because there's not a whole lot of margin in a $500 turntable. It's not going to keep the lights on, I don't think, unless they can sell a bunch of them. And I don't know if that's even possible. Gone are the days, too, where you could walk in and just buy a cartridge, or have one of the techs put your cartridge under a microscope to see if it's damaged. And then if it is, you just put another cartridge in your pocket and take it home. Well, don't put it in your pocket unless it's really protected, but you know what I'm saying. That's what used to happen in what I now call the good old days of hi-fi. I get it. You need the whales to come in and buy a $50,000 system, but you've got to draw in the regular guys like you and me to keep us in the game. Somehow, stores have to find out how to create a story to combat online shopping. They have to somehow get across to the general equipment buying public that in-store listening is irreplaceable. That's probably going to cost some marketing dollars, and that's not going to sit well with store owners. But if you can find a store that does give you a great in-store listening experience, support that store by asking good questions and not just mining them for knowledge so that you can go buy the equipment online. Start a relationship. You'll be so surprised that when you begin that relationship with your hi-fi store, good things can happen. More information is imparted. There's more service, and maybe you get a call once in a while from your dealer with a special offer of a demo piece or something that is, marked down. These kind of things can only happen when you're in a relationship, not just a transactional relationship either. Store owners shouldn't expect everybody to buy something every time they come into their store. There's a give and take here, and we all have to respect that. But hey, if we don't get along and work together, the hi-fi store may have the same fate as New Coke. These days, hi-fi stores, if you even have one in your town, are destinations. You're not going to pass a hi-fi store on every corner. It's not like CVS. It's just not going to be there. You have to seek them out. Like I said, you may not even have one in your town. You may have to travel to a different city, in which case it's really a destination. But the stores have to appreciate that journey that the consumer is taking, and maybe have more events on the weekend, maybe vinyl listening nights, demos from major brands, maybe even live music artist showcases, system matching workshops, bench testing, cartridge inspection. I don't know. I mean, the sky's the limit. It's only up to the creativity of the store owners, and it's up to us customers to make that journey for those events. What would you like to see or hear at your local hi-fi store? Put it in the comments below. And then as long as you're doing that, go ahead and subscribe. Hey, hi-fi stores, how about some curated experiences like systems under $1,000, best vinyl systems, how to set up a turntable, streaming versus vinyl demonstrations. How about a tube night? Oh, we love tubes. Anytime people come in and listen and fall in love with a system, that is a potential to make a sale and maybe get a customer for life. All right, outreach. Yeah, we've got to do some outreach. It seems like hi-fi is just for the older guys. The older guys. What's wrong with that sentence? Why are we leaving out the youth, the spouses, the ladies? But that's just a fact of the game. And if you've ever been to any audio show anywhere in the world, and you'll see exactly that. A bunch of guys my age walking around talking about hi-fi, even though we have high frequency dropouts in our hearing. That's just a fact. We have to find a way to bring the youth, our kids, college students, our wives, girlfriends, whatever. We have to get them involved. It only stands to reason if we like music, they would like music and get some enjoyment out of it. Don't hog the system you have at home. Share it. Take your spouse, take your kids to audio shows, take them to hi-fi shops, and let them get engaged. They're not going to know until they know. And there's a chance the youth of the world can save hi-fi from becoming the Death Star. Also, to this end, hi-fi stores have to keep abreast with social media and trends and TikTok and all that stuff that seems counterproductive and counterintuitive to selling hi-fi. But I don't know how in this world you can get by without playing in that arena. So hi-fi stores, if you don't have those people, get those people. And finally, we need to build relationships. A hi-fi dealer should be like your mechanic or your barber. It should be a relationship that lasts for a lot of years, a trusting relationship with give and take and yin and yang and, benefits to both parties. Quid quo pro, I think it's called. And this would include gear loans for the weekend or generous trade-up programs. The staff at hi-fi stores should seem more like music lovers than salesmen. I'm not saying everybody doesn't like a good salesman. We all love salesmen. But maybe if you were talking to a fellow music lover, we could get along a lot better. So in conclusion, we don't just need hi-fi shops. Hi-fi shops need us. We have to work together on this. We have to be considerate of the shop owner's time. We don't want to be mining them for information, only to take that information somewhere else and make a purchase. I know we've all done it, but it's really not that ethical when you think about it. Drop into your local dealer every once in a while just to have a chat. You don't have to be compelled to buy something every time, but just let them know that you know that they're there. Just bring your favorite record and say, hey, can I throw this on for a few minutes? I bet they'll oblige. And if they don't, haul ass. And that's pretty much it as I try to Shark Tank this problem, at least a problem that I see. I'm worried. I want hi-fi stores to exist. I want to have a place to go on Saturdays to hang out and talk to fellow music lovers. God knows a lot of the record stores are gone. A lot of the hi-fi stores are drying up. I don't want that to happen, and I don't want it to happen to you. What are some of your best hi-fi store experiences, stereo store experiences? What are some of the best deals you ever got? What are your memories? Whenever I play music on my systems, it always brings back some kind of memory and good feelings. That's it. Another think piece from me, Bob, in United States of Analog. I want to thank you for being here and listening to this. If you got this far, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to comment. I really want to know about your experiences. How can you save your local hi-fi store? Let me know in the comments. You've got a couple minutes to watch another video and it's going to pop up right here. I think you're going to like it. The geniuses at YouTube have already pre-selected it for you, so you know it's going to be good. Thanks for being here in United States of Analog. I'll see you next time. Cheers.